Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to ditch the 9 to 5.
Always.
Today we're diving deep into the 4-hour work week, but not just as a book, as a lifestyle, right?
Exactly.
We're using excerpts, focusing on escaping that traditional job, making money kind of on autopilot, and designing your dream muse,
Ah, yes, the muse.
your product or service. It's about living that millionaire lifestyle, but without actually needing millions in the bank.
That's the key, right?
So how do we actually do it?
Well, Tim Ferriss, he's tapping into something pretty big here, a real societal shift.
Right. He calls it the new rich.
Yeah.
These people who value like mobility, freedom over just stacking up cash.
Experiences over possessions.
But is that really realistic in today's world?
I think the tools are there now more than ever before
Okay.
to work remotely, build online businesses. Ferriss is saying the new rich, they use that.
So not about the big house. It's about...
It's about experiences. It's about time.
But is he saying just ditch your job, buy a plane ticket, and bam, happiness?
Not quite.
Okay.
There's a structure to it, the DEAL formula.
Deal.
Definition, elimination, automation, liberation.
Gotcha. And each step is like crucial.
Crucial. And it's more practical than you might think.
So actionable, not just some fluffy motivation.
Exactly.
Let's break this deal down then.
Let's do it.
Starting with definition.
Most people,
Yeah.
they're chasing some version of success they didn't even choose.
Oh, that's so true.
Ferriss says, step 1, define what you want. Happiness for you, not what society's telling you.
Yeah, we're bombarded with success equals money messages 24/7.
All the time.
But what if our listener, they like their job, they just want more free time? Is this still relevant?
Absolutely. It's about aligning your time with what excites you.
Okay.
Maybe it's travel, maybe it's mastering a skill, whatever it is. The 4-hour work week is the how to get that time.
So how do we go from 40 hours to 4? That's where elimination comes in.
You got it.
I know the 80-20 principle is big here.
Huge. 80% of results from 20% of the effort.
But most jobs reward you for being busy, not actually productive.
Exactly. Ferriss tells this story of Sherwood.
Sherwood.
Yeah, he built this whole side hustle selling sailor shirts.
Wait, sailor shirts? How'd that become a muse?
He realized only a few tasks actually drove sales, product design, marketing. The rest, he outsourced or ditched.
He was doing 80-20 without even knowing it.
Exactly.
So how does our listener find their 20%?
Ferriss has this great question. He says, would I be happy if this was all I did today?
I like that.
If the answer is no, it's probably not your crucial 20%.
So eliminate it, delegate it.
You're rid of it.
Okay, that's practical. I like it.
Right.
And then there's email, the monster.
Ugh, the worst.
How does Ferriss tackle that?
He's all about batching, setting expectations,
Yeah.
making yourself less available.
So not constantly checking your inbox?
No, it's being intentional, not reactive.
Mm.
Counterintuitive. But less email often means better service
So
because you're more focused when you were responding.
quality over quantity.
Exactly.
But what about those of us stuck in traditional jobs? Liberation seems tough when you've got a boss watching your every move.
Ferriss actually has a 5-step plan for that.
Oh, really?
Even if you're not an entrepreneur like Sherwood,
Okay.
it's about proving your value remotely, quantifying the benefits for your boss,
Gotcha.
proposing a trial period.
So not just demanding to work from home in your pajamas?
No, it's about making it irresistible for your boss,
Oh, I like that.
showing them how it makes you more productive, not less.
It's subtle, but powerful.
Very powerful.
This is giving me hope. Even if full-time muse mode isn't happening right now, there's still a path to more freedom.
There absolutely is.
Ah,
But even with freedom, you need financial stability.
right. That's true.
That's where we go from liberation to automation in part 2.
Ooh, can't wait.
It's going to be good.
We'll be back after the break.
See you then.
All right, we're back, diving deeper into the 4-hour work week.
Yes.
Last time, escaping that 9 to 5, right?
Right.
Now, how do we make that freedom, like, financially sustainable?
Right. That's where we move from liberation to automation. Automation, arguably the most crucial part of this whole deal thing.
Really?
It's about systems that make money without you needing to be there all the time.
I think a lot of people, they hear automation, they think like robots, complex coding.
Yeah, it sounds intimidating.
Is it really that complicated?
Ferriss keeps it pretty grounded, especially for building a business that runs itself.
Okay.
But first, you need that muse, your product, your service, that thing.
Right, and he's big on the niche, right?
Absolutely.
Not trying to be everything to everyone.
You don't need to boil the ocean.
Like Sherwood and his sailor shirts. Very specific.
But it worked.
It clearly worked.
Niche means you don't need a ton of money up front.
Okay.
You can test things out quickly.
So our listener has an idea. What's the first step to make it a money-making muse?
Good question.
Does it have to be a physical product?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
Ferriss used the example of Johanna. She was a yoga instructor. Created a DVD specifically for climbers.
Oh, interesting.
She saw a need, tested it. Now it's passive income.
So it could be knowledge, a service, anything people value.
Anything. As long as it solves a problem for someone.
That's inspiring. But even with a great product, how do you actually step away from it?
That's where virtual assistants come in.
Ah, VAs.
Your remote helpers, handling things like customer service, scheduling, you name it.
And that's affordable.
More than you think.
Really? Because hiring someone sounds expensive, especially when you're starting out.
Ferriss talks about finding good VAs for as low as $5 an hour.
Wow, $5.
Depends on the task, the location. But there are platforms online to find talent globally.
So you don't need to be like a CEO to have a team.
Exactly.
But how much can you really automate? Isn't there always something you have to do yourself?
It's not about automating everything. It's about freeing up your time for what you're best at.
Okay.
The vision, the strategy, or just, enjoying life.
The 80-20 applies here too.
Big time. Automate that 80% you don't love.
And then you've got time for the 20% that matters.
You got it.
And that's when that liberation we talked about, it becomes real.
Exactly. Remember Sherwood? He wasn't chained to his computer,
Probably on a beach somewhere.
sipping a mojito, sailor shirts selling themselves.
Thanks to automation. But Ferriss also talks about liberation for employees, right?
Right. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur,
For sure.
but the principles still apply.
Even within a company.
Remember that 5-step plan for negotiating remote work.
Yeah.
It's about increasing your value, proving you can deliver remotely, making it a win-win for your boss.
So it's about creating freedom within the system, not just, throwing a fit and demanding to work from a hammock.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, once you've had that taste of freedom, it might inspire you to build your own muse down the line.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to work.
It's powerful stuff.
But once you have the freedom, what then? What does a 4-hour work week actually look like? That's where I think we need to go next.
Let's get into it.
We'll be back after the break. Okay, so we've covered escaping the 9-to-5. We've talked about automating income. But what does a 4-hour work week actually look like? Is it all beaches and mojitos?
It's tempting to think that. But Ferriss, he's really emphasizing intentionality, even in freedom.
Okay.
It's not just working less. It's about working on the right things.
Right.
And then designing a life that's actually fulfilling, not just empty space.
Makes sense. Otherwise, you'd just be trading one rat race for another.
Exactly.
So how do you fill that time once you've liberated it?
Ferriss says define your ideal lifestyle first.
Okay.
What gets you excited to wake up each day? Is it travel? Is it mastering a new skill? Starting a nonprofit?
Okay.
Then you work backward. Figure out the resources you need to make that happen.
So almost like reverse engineering your dream life.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just letting life happen to you.
You're in control.
But isn't there a danger of getting overwhelmed with options?
Sure.
If you suddenly have all this free time, it could be paralyzing.
That's where that definition phase we talked about comes back in.
Okay.
If you're clear on your values, your priorities, you're less likely to get caught up in busy work.
Right. You're not chasing someone else's version of success. So you're not just running from something.
Right.
You're running towards something you've intentionally chosen.
Exactly.
It all sounds a bit too good to be true, though. Any downsides Ferriss mentions?
Oh, he's not painting a perfect picture. He talks about loneliness, lack of structure, even guilt from breaking those societal norms around work.
Interesting, because those are all internal hurdles, not external. It's like the biggest obstacles to a 4-hour work week are in our own heads.
100%. Ferriss is big on mindset shifts.
Makes sense.
You got to redefine what success means to you. Overcome that fear of failure. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
So it's not a quick fix. It's an ongoing process.
For sure. Self-discovery and adjustment. But even if someone's not ready to go full 4-hour work week right now,
Yeah.
there are still takeaways they can apply today.
Like what?
The 80-20 principle. Eliminating unnecessary tasks, batching emails, even small changes can free up time and mental energy.
Progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
But let's say our listener is thinking, okay, I have some free time. What do I actually do with it?
Well, Ferriss has tons of practical advice. skill development, travel hacking, even starting those side businesses. He encourages experimentation. Try new things, see what sparks joy, and don't be afraid to pivot if something's not working.
It's like he's giving you permission to break free from the shoulds and just explore.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the 4-hour work week, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away?
I think the biggest takeaway is you have more control over your life than you might realize. Ferriss provides the framework, but it's up to you to define your own freedom and design a life that fits your values.
Inspiring and a little daunting, but it's a reminder that work doesn't have to be a drag. It can be a source of purpose, creativity, even adventure.
Exactly. And maybe even a few mojitos on the beach along the way.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the 4-hour work week. But hopefully this has sparked some ideas and inspired you to rethink your relationship with work and time.
It's all about taking action.
Remember, the 4-hour work week, it's not just a fantasy. It's a set of principles you can apply today to create a life of more freedom and fulfillment.
You got this.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.